Stay tuned for the latest message excerpt from Impact Church.
Last week, Pastor Carl spoke about how we're better together in community. So when we talk about see yourself here, it's not just here in the sense 220 Adelaide Street North. It's see yourself in community. See yourself in vital relationships with other believers. See yourself connected. And I love this. Pastor Carl said, many people think that Christianity is a belief system, but it's really a belong system. That's beautiful. Might be a little bit challenging at first, but we're going to unpack a little bit about what this means as we talk about today about invite. Invite is it's one of the verbs that we value. It's one of the values that we have as a people at Impact Church. You know, you hang out with us long enough, and that desire to invite people to church is going to rub off on you. And it's not just because we want a big church; it's because we want people to experience Jesus. We think that we've encountered Jesus Christ here this morning, and we want other people to have that same experience. And every single human being, it's owed to every single person to have the opportunity to experience Jesus for themselves and make their own informed decision about what they think. And that's what we want to try and create for everybody. So if you've been following along, we've been looking at John chapter 1. I just want to share some verses here with you. It's the next day it says, John the Baptist, who came to reveal Jesus to the Israelites, he's looking at Jesus as he walks by, and he says, "Look, behold, the Lamb of God." And two disciples of John, they heard him say this, and they left John and they started following Jesus. And Jesus turned around, he saw that they were following him, and he said to them, "What are you guys looking for? Like, what do you want? What do you seek? What's going on here? What are you up to?" And they said, "Rabbi," which means teacher, "where are you staying?" They wanted to know where he was living, where he was staying, where he was, what hotel are you at, Jesus? We want to come hang out. And he said to them, "Come and see." We'll unpack what that means a little bit later, but I think those "come and see," three extremely, extremely powerful words. Can I pray for you? Come and see. If you got that, you've got evangelism. Can I pray for you? Come and see. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes, maybe because of my past or the type of person that I am, I'm terrified by the concept of evangelism. I don't know if that's okay to say that when you're up here and you got the mic, but I've had so many awkward experiences. Like just the word itself. I mean, it's a biblical word. It just literally means good news, like telling other people the good news. But you know what I mean? Like there's this weird notion around it sometimes, and it terrifies me. I mean, when I first got saved, I had a genuine experience with Jesus, and I was legitimately excited about him, and I wanted to tell people, and I didn't know how, and I was awkward. Just a really awkward human being. I still have the gift of awkwardness. Like, I can encounter you and we can have a 5-second exchange and you can walk away feeling really weird. I just have the ability to do that. I don't know why. It works for me sometimes, though, so don't try and change me. But I'm not kidding. I used to get these little cue cards, and I wrote out on the cue card John 3:16. I made up my own little prayer. I think I even put my aunt and uncle who I was living with, I think I even put their phone number on it. And then I went to the public library. I photocopied this thing. I cut them out, and I would walk the streets of Chester in England, and I would pass these things out to anybody and anyone who would listen. And if they didn't want to listen, I'd give it to them anyways. And if they said no to me at McDonald's, I'd wait till they went to the bathroom and I'd stick it under the garbage on their table so they'd see it. Like, I was creepy. But I said no, kid. But I really wanted people to experience Jesus. I mean, I'd been touched. My life had been changed. I went to England to play soccer, and I wanted to be a professional player. I didn't know how to do that, so I thought, I'll go sign up for high school, and if I'm good enough, somebody's going to see me. And sure enough, that happened. They saw me playing at my high school gym class, actually, of all things, but long story short, I ended up blowing out my knee, and I couldn't pursue soccer anymore. Plan B for my life was either play soccer or be a soldier. And I mean, my knee was messed up. I had nothing left, and I put all of my eggs in these baskets, and I was desperate for a sense of purpose in my life. So one night I had a dream. I think Jesus encountered me and spoke to me, and I woke up, and I was a different person. I was like, I need you in my life. And all of a sudden, bam, I went from hopeless, purposeless, aimless person to somebody who felt like I had a sense of destiny, and that something about my life had been thought of and predetermined from before I was even born. And I walked into a moment feeling like, wow, Jesus has really got me. He loves me. He's created me on purpose. And I'm not just wandering around with no direction at all. I know what it means to belong. And that touched me. That meant a lot to me. So naturally, what else are you going to do besides make tracks and go pass them out to whoever's going to listen? You want to tell people, right? So I did. And the thing is, I went to work for an organization called the Light Project in Chester, and I think they're still going. They're an amazing organization. But one of the things they had me do working as an apprentice evangelist is, if you know me, you'll find this kind of funny, but I used to stand on the street corner of a really, really, really busy downtown area, and I used to do drama skits trying to tell people about Jesus. If you know me, that is not me. That's awkward. I think I was an advertisement for don't go here. It was really bad. But I got so upset, so stressed out about this, what should have been a really natural, beautiful thing, the overflow of my own experience with Jesus, and wanting to invite people into that. I ended up getting really weird about it. I remember one day walking to college, and I used to cut through the mall just because I like escalators. I got a thing with them. I like to go up and down them. And so I go down, I walked out onto the street, and I saw a person across the road. And I actually thought to myself, man, how am I going to tell that person the gospel? I don't want to. I'm going to be late for work, or I'm going to be late for college. How am I going to get there? And I literally stressed myself out over it. And then from that point on, I was like, man, I'm going to cool it. I think I'm going a little bit crazy. I don't think this is what Jesus wanted. I don't think this is what he had in mind when he said, I'm going to make you fishers of men. So anyways, the whole concept of sharing our faith can be tricky, right? It can be a little bit of a difficult thing to do. So I've come to learn over the years, there's three big ideas that have really helped me. And I want to share those with you guys today. But the first one is this. It's okay to be excited about Jesus. Yeah? I mean, we live in a world where, people get excited about all sorts of stuff. I'm excited about my soccer team right now. We literally we've played 25 games and only lost one. That's unheard of. I could literally stand up here for an hour and tell you about how excited I am about Liverpool Football Club right now. But, sometimes, the funny thing is, sometimes when you're excited and you're passionate about something, you kind of stand out. There's not a lot of people that have something in their lives right now that they're really excited about. And so, sometimes the tendency is you don't want to be the loon. You don't want to be the crazy guy who's happy all the time. You don't want people thinking, what did he do on his lunch break, I don't know, he's a little too happy today. But it's okay to be excited about Jesus. Secondly, sometimes we really do focus on leading people to Jesus, but sometimes, this is just part of the process that I and others have observed, sometimes the first step of leading people to Jesus is letting Jesus lead people to you. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then lastly, part of an inviting culture, having a value that we as a community embrace and let affect how we do what we do and why we do. What we do is, it's more about including people than it is informing people. And I think that is actually so countercultural in the world that we live in today, not just in the Christian world, but in the world. I mean, everybody's got a viewpoint, everybody's got a perspective, and everybody wants to share that with everybody and make everybody come and embrace mine. But, I mean, because of what Jesus has done for us, we are actually probably the only community on earth that can legitimately move together towards purpose and say everybody's welcome at the same time. So being able to include people is actually a really, really powerful thing. So, the first thing here, people who encounter Jesus, they want to tell other people about him, and being excited about him is okay, and we have biblical precedent for that. Here it says Andrew first found his brother. Andrew encountered Jesus, and then he goes and finds his brother, and he says, hey, look, we found the Messiah. And his first response was, I found Jesus, now I want to bring my brother to Jesus. The following day, Jesus finds Philip and says to him, follow me. What does Philip do? First thing Philip does after having an amazing experience with Jesus and responding to the call to follow him is he goes and finds his buddy Nathaniel. And then he goes and gets Nathaniel and he comes and follows him. We got the example of the shepherds. At Christmas time, the angels come and there's the light show, and then the angels go see baby Jesus. And what it says in Luke 2:17, after seeing him, the shepherds told everyone. I think that's amazing. The shepherds, they saw a baby. Think about the faith it took. Think about Simeon in the temple. All they saw was a baby in messed up clothes lying in a manger. And then they're so excited. They had so much faith. See, sometimes we want to have an amazing experience that's going to propel us out into telling others about Jesus, but really all you need is your faith. Right? If you can see him, if you can see Jesus with the eyes of faith, and with your eyes of faith, you can value him and appreciate him for who he is and what he really is in your life. I mean, you don't need a heavenly experience to come down and propel you and tell you to go. I mean, if you've been to our invite sermons before, you can reach in your pocket and grab that piece of lead that Pastor Carl gives you. Or with the eyes of faith, you can see, wow, in Jesus, in this Jesus who's a daily part of my life, there's literally the answer to every human problem.